What if drinking water first thing in the morning could actually harm your health? Water on its own isn't the issue, but combine it with certain habits, and it can trigger everything from nausea to long term organ stress. And while most people praise the benefits of morning hydration, hardly anyone talks about the potential dangers when it's done carelessly. That's especially true for older adults whose systems tend to be more sensitive and more reactive. Your kidneys, your digestion, your heart. All of them depend on timing, balance, and context. And when you wake up, your body's in a very delicate state. Hormones are shifting, blood pressure is adjusting, electrolyte levels are low. If you flood your system the wrong way, or with the wrong tools, you may not feel the effects immediately, but that doesn't mean they're not there. Some people feel bloated. Others notice heart palpitations or cold sweats. Some just feel strange and don't know why. It's easy to miss the connection, but once you learn how it works, it starts to make sense. In this video, we're going to break down 5 common mistakes that can make drinking water first thing in the morning harmful rather than helpful. Each one represents a quiet danger that many people overlook, and the last one might change the way you think about your entire morning routine. If you care about keeping your digestion calm, your heart steady, and your mind clear, then stay with us. This might be one of the most surprising and important things you learn all week. Now, let's get started. Number 1. Ice cold water on an empty stomach. It might feel refreshing. It might even wake you up a little. But pouring ice cold water into your body first thing in the morning is a shock your system doesn't need, especially when your stomach is completely empty. Overnight, your internal organs settle into a gentle rhythm. Your blood vessels are slightly constricted. Your digestive tract is dormant. And suddenly, sending freezing water down that quiet pipeline is like slamming on the brakes when your car's engine is still warming up. It disrupts digestion, tenses the stomach muscles, and narrows blood vessels just when they're trying to open up and help your body ease into the day. The problem isn't the water itself, it's the temperature. Cold water forces your body to expend extra energy just to regulate your core temperature. Again, for younger people, that might not seem like a big deal. But for older adults with slower metabolisms, it can mean unnecessary stress on the cardiovascular system. You may feel a sudden headache, a flash of dizziness, a chill in your chest that seems to linger. These are not signs of refreshment. They're signs that your body is bracing itself against something it didn't expect. Let me tell you about Elelena, a 76-year-old who began each morning by gulping down a tall glass of ice water straight from the fridge. She liked how it cleared her throat and made her feel alert, but she also started noticing something else. Her stomach would cramp, her fingers would feel cold, and her digestion throughout the morning felt sluggish. After mentioning it to her doctor, she was encouraged to switch to room temperature water for a few weeks. The change was immediate. Her stomach stopped nodding, her hands stopped trembling, and mornings became calmer, more comfortable, and less reactive. We often think discomfort is just part of aging, but many of these small aches and jolts come from habits that don't match what our bodies need anymore. Cold water might have felt energizing at 25, but at 75, it may be doing more harm than good. So, if you've been starting your mornings with something that feels like a jolt to the system, take a step back. Let the body wake up gently. Choose water that's closer to your body temperature. Give your organs the respect they deserve. After all, they've carried you through. They've earned it. Number 2. Drinking too fast or in large gulps. There's something satisfying about taking a big drink, especially when you're thirsty. But drinking water too fast, especially in the first few minutes after waking, can throw your whole system off balance. When your body is still transitioning from sleep to wakefulness, Every system is a little more sensitive. Your stomach lining is unprepared. Your heart rate is adjusting. Your blood pressure is recalibrating. Chugging down a full glass of water in one go, even if it's room temperature, can trigger bloating, dizziness, and in some cases, even nausea or a lightheaded feeling that seems to come out of nowhere. You see, when you drink too quickly, your body doesn't have time to process that sudden intake. The kidneys jump into overdrive, your electrolyte balance shifts, and the stomach expands suddenly. That can cause discomfort, gas, or even trigger acid reflux in people who are prone to it. Seniors, in particular, need to be mindful here because fluid regulation becomes more delicate with age. What might feel like efficiency, getting hydration over with, can actually set off a chain of reactions that leave you feeling worse instead of better. Let's talk about Walter, a 72-year-old former coach who treated hydration like a discipline. He had a morning routine he never missed: wake up, stretch, and finish a full bottle of water before his feet hit the floor. But over time, he noticed he'd feel strangely dizzy some mornings. He couldn't understand it. He wasn't skipping meals. He wasn't dehydrated. But when he explained his routine to his doctor, they realized the problem. He was flooding his body before it had time to stabilize. With a small change, sipping his water slowly over 15 to 20 minutes, his symptoms disappeared. There's a rhythm to hydration, and honoring that rhythm, especially first thing in the morning, can make all the difference. Sipping slowly helps your body absorb water more efficiently. It reduces the strain on your kidneys, and it prevents the sudden drop in electrolyte concentration that can make you feel weak or jittery. So, instead of rushing through your morning glass, treat it like a ritual. Sit up, breathe, sip gently, and let your body receive instead of react. A few extra minutes can save you a whole day of discomfort. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 3. Drinking from plastic bottles left overnight. Sometimes the danger isn't in the water, it's in the container. Many folks leave a plastic water bottle by their bedside at night, thinking it's just a convenient way to stay hydrated in the morning. But if that bottle sits out too long, especially in warm rooms or in direct sunlight, it can start to leach chemicals into the water you plan to drink. One of the main concerns is a compound called BPA, often found in older or lower quality plastics. Even bottles labeled BPA-free aren't always safe, because other substitute chemicals can behave in similar ways once heat and time get involved. Here's why that matters. These chemicals are called endocrine disruptors. That means they can mimic hormones in your body and interfere with how your glands function. For seniors already managing blood sugar, blood pressure, or thyroid issues, this added interference, even in small amounts, can throw things out of balance. The symptoms don't show up right away, but over weeks or months, you might notice more fatigue, mood swings, or changes in digestion without realizing that your innocent bedside habit might be part of the cause. Let me tell you about Stanley, a 78-year-old who prided himself on drinking plenty of water every morning. He always kept a store-bought plastic bottle by the bed, refilled it from the tap, and reused it for weeks without a second thought. It sat next to a warm lamp, sometimes in direct sun. Over time, he began experiencing headaches and bloating that didn't align with his diet or medications. After doing some reading and speaking to his nutritionist, he made a switch to glass and stainless steel containers and stopped leaving bottles out overnight. Within weeks, his symptoms eased, and for the first time in months, his energy stabilized. It's tempting to ignore small exposures like these, especially when they seem harmless. But for aging bodies, every added chemical load makes a difference. Your liver works harder, your hormones fight for balance, and your system becomes more vulnerable to outside influences. If you've been reusing plastic bottles or keeping water by your bed in soft containers, it might be time to reconsider. Go for glass, go for stainless steel, or at the very least, fill a clean container in the morning instead of relying on one that's been sitting out all night. It's a simple shift, but sometimes the simplest changes bring the biggest peace of mind. Number 4. Drinking water on a very full or very empty stomach. After certain medications, mornings are delicate. That's when your body is trying to find its rhythm again, especially after a night of fasting. And for many older adults, mornings also mean medications, blood pressure pills, thyroid tablets, pain relievers. These tiny capsules carry enormous responsibilities. But here's what most people don't realize. The way you take those medications, especially in relation to water and food, can change everything. Drinking plain water on a very empty stomach right after taking certain meds can lead to nausea, stomach discomfort, and in some cases, reduced effectiveness of the medication itself. Some pills are designed to be taken with food. Others need to be taken on an empty stomach, but not followed by large amounts of water. And still others react poorly with acidity levels that are heightened or lowered by what and how you drink. Your digestive system isn't just a passive pipe. It's a sensitive balance of enzymes, fluids, and timing. Flooding it with water, especially if your stomach is empty or if you're coming off a large meal, can interfere with absorption. That means you might not be getting the full benefit of the medication. Or worse, it might irritate your stomach lining without you even knowing why. Let's look at Margaret, an 80-year-old who began experiencing morning nausea that didn't seem tied to anything she ate. Her blood work was fine, her meals were consistent, but every morning, 30 minutes after taking her thyroid medication with a big glass of water, she felt queasy and unsettled. Her doctor discovered that not only was she drinking too much too fast on an empty stomach, but she was also failing to give her stomach time to adjust before eating. By changing to a smaller sip of water with her pill, then waiting 45 minutes before breakfast, the nausea disappeared completely. And better yet, her next blood test showed her medication was working more efficiently. It's easy to overlook how sensitive the stomach is first thing in the morning, especially when you've taken the same medication for years. But our bodies change, our responses shift, and when we start our day by listening instead of assuming, we give ourselves the chance to adjust before problems take root. So if you've been waking up queasy, or if your meds seem less effective than they used to be, take a closer look at what you're drinking, when you're drinking, and how much. It might be a simple fix with a big impact. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 5. Skipping breakfast and replacing it with water alone. It sounds healthy and disciplined. Some folks wake up, drink a big glass of water, and decide to skip breakfast altogether, thinking they're doing their body a favor. But especially for seniors, this habit can quietly drain your energy, lower your blood sugar, and start the day on a deficit that's hard to recover from. Water is essential, but water alone, without food to stabilize your system, can leave you lightheaded, irritable, and mentally foggy, sometimes without you even realizing the connection. When you wake up, your body is in a fasting state. Your glucose levels are low, your brain needs fuel, your muscles are waiting for nutrients. Drinking water helps jumpstart circulation and rehydrate cells, yes, but it doesn't provide the carbohydrates or protein your brain and body require to operate properly. And if you follow that water with coffee, the effects can intensify. Suddenly, you've stimulated your system without grounding it. You may feel jittery, anxious, or emotionally flat by mid-morning. And it becomes easy to mistake those symptoms for age, stress, or sleep problems when they're really just nutritional signals. Let's talk about Alice, a 69-year-old who tried to simplify her mornings. She read that water boosts metabolism and that intermittent fasting was all the rage, so she stopped eating breakfast and just drank water until noon. At first, she lost a little weight, but then the fatigue set in. Her mood dipped, she became more forgetful, and her daughter noticed she was repeating herself in conversations. A visit to her doctor revealed no major medical issue, just a lack of steady glucose intake in the morning. Once she added a small, protein-rich breakfast to her routine, like eggs and fruit or oatmeal and nuts, her energy returned, her focus sharpened, and she started feeling like herself again. Skipping breakfast might sound harmless, even admirable, but for an aging body, especially one that's already managing medication or hormone changes, it's risky. Think of food in the morning like kindling in a fire. Without it, the flame flickers. With it, you burn steady and strong. Water plays its role, but it can't do the job alone. So, if you've been starting your day with only water, thinking less is more, this might be the adjustment that changes everything. Give your body both hydration and nourishment. That's how you wake up fully, inside and out. Final thoughts. Morning routines can be powerful. They set the tone for your day, your energy, your focus. And while drinking water first thing gets a lot of praise, and rightfully so, it's not a one-size-fits-all solution. The truth is, water is only helpful when it's handled with care. When we rush, overdo it, or ignore how our bodies respond, something meant to help can quietly hurt. Especially as we age, our systems become more sensitive. What used to feel refreshing might now feel jarring. What felt harmless might now need a second thought. But this isn't about fear. It's about awareness, about learning how to support the body you have today, not the one you had 20 years ago. Maybe that means sipping instead of chugging. Maybe it means warming your water slightly or eating a little something before you hydrate. Maybe it means finally tossing that plastic bottle you've reused too many times. These aren't dramatic changes. They're thoughtful ones. And often, it's the thoughtful changes that protect our comfort, our clarity, and our confidence as we move through the years. You've taken the time to understand how small things can make a big difference. That says something about the kind of person you are, someone who pays attention, someone who cares, someone who's still learning, still growing, still investing in their well-being. That mindset alone adds strength to your days. So, don't stop here. Take one of these lessons and try it tomorrow morning and see how your body responds when it's treated, not with routine, but with respect. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.